Next person I'm introducing Completely Blind. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to introduce someone named KJ.
Wow, it has been a while, so thanks or no thanks. Or thanks but no thanks. So I've got a few good stories about that potentially. There's one about a time when I was a little bit more, how do you say, kind of spiritual. I grew very legal mushrooms. They were really great. They were king oysters. And I was a shaman for some people, right? So there's that. There's also some good stories from when I was a worker at the homeless shelter. That's fun. There's also another one about when I think I almost witnessed a murder. In my opinion, I don't know. I got out of there, so I think I'll save that one for last. So I'm going to start with the shelter worker stuff. So when the men's shelter was down here on just at the end of James, if you guys all remember where it was, that whole condemned building right by the GO station. Do you know what I'm talking about? That whole fenced off area. So that used to be the men's shelter, but then it moved over to King and Main. Main and Queen or Main and King, something like that. But I used to wear 2 sweaters because it's a dirty homeless shelter, so I'd have 2 pairs of pants, and what I would do is I would do my laundry every other day, right? So I'd switch between them so that I didn't get my other nice clothes dirty, I didn't have to worry about anything. Great. The only problem with that is that living up here on Duke Street, I lived on 1 Duke. The walk home every day, and the people that live around me are the same people that I see every day at work. That's very comforting. Thanks but no thanks, and the story doesn't end there. So that's already enough where you're kind of like, wow, I might get robbed because people might follow me home and they know that I pay rent and that I own things. And that building doesn't have great security. So that's already thanks but no thanks enough. But there was a few times where someone actually did follow me home. And when I started working there, I was told by the other workers not to talk about the fact that I'm a member of the LGBT whatever community, right? Just letters in there. But yeah, I'm a member. I do things, whatever, it doesn't matter. But it is relevant to the story. Because one day, he said, "You, janitor in the yellow shirt, I'm going to kill you, you blank." And I was like horrified. I'm like, I know I live in Hamilton and like it's kind of grody. Like I used to come downtown as a kid and you always make sure you're going to be safe, make sure people know where you're going and everything. But like, I don't need to tell people where I'm going. I'm going home. You know what I mean? Like that guy came at me. I went and I hid in another business and I got something to eat, but like, no thank you. So very shortly afterwards, I quit my job because I'm like, I do not want people, I don't want them following me home and potentially trying to rob me or do anything. And another time at that same job, I was working at the one on Wentworth. So, I worked at different locations. And just after leaving work, in my distinctive bright yellow sweater that to me made me feel safe because I was able to be seen in lights, very, very visible, neon yellow shirt, neon yellow pullover that I would always wear. A guy's like, do you sell crack? You sell crack. You have crack. Give me your crack. I'm like, no, dude, I don't have crack. He's like, empty your pockets. I'm like, no, I'm not emptying my dang pockets for you. He goes into my pockets and tries finding crack. He is so convinced that I not only... Look at me, okay? Do I look like I sell crack, guys? Come on. No, I'm like the whitest, pastiest Jew like in the world, okay? Like, come on. I really I don't look like that. He thinks, he is so convinced that I'm selling it, that he goes into my pockets and tries to give me $5. I'm not even joking. He tried to give me the money before I had even given him anything. After he rooted in my pockets, I very quickly left. I'm like, nope, no thank you. I'm gone. Get out of here. No thank you. Goodbye. I quit my job because it was a bit... one too many of those interactions really not fun, especially when you're not getting the hazard pay. I have another story. I can say another one. So when I was young, I'm still an outdoors enthusiast, but I was a lot more active about it. So I really still want to do this, but I want to go the length from Hamilton to Brantford, which is roughly 40K. maybe a bit longer, depends on where you start. But so my first goal was to go hit the 20-kilometer mark, go there, and come back. So the first time I did this, I was 16, and the season was changing from August to September, so nights were getting pretty cold. I started a little bit late on my journey. I didn't realize how long it would take me. So I get out there, and once you get past the 10-kilometer mark, you're hitting farms. You're hitting intermittent tree cover, it gets dark, there's no street lights. Pardon me. The only thing that you can trust is your bike light, your phone, and the sweat that is freezing on your legs, right? So my legs were starting to seize up. It was getting a little cold, and out of nowhere, I see this guy. He kind of looks like he's like this in the middle of a field. I see what looks like an Escalade, like a Cadillac or an Escalade. I think an Escalade is actually a Cadillac, anyways. Pull up, and they left all the car lights on so they could see what they were doing. And I saw two people walk up to this guy. I have no idea what happened, because as soon as I saw something like that, I noped out of there. My barely working legs suddenly felt like they could work, because I don't want to see anything that I'm not supposed to see, especially out in the middle of farm country where probably nobody else was supposed to be that night. I don't think that they planned on having anybody else there. No, thank you. I ended up calling my mom. I was 16, right? So thank God she was still able to bail me out. And she ended up picking me up at about the 12-kilometer marker. Yeah. Those are some thanks but no thanks stories.
I've never had anybody philanthropically try to give me $5 for crack that I don't have. So, man, that's a level of charisma I could only possibly aspire to.
Oh, I think it's because they knew I was the janitor there, and we go around with sharp boxes and pick up drugs that we find and throw them in the sharps bin. I think maybe he thought that I kept it for myself.
And as for the guy in the field, I hate to ask this, but I have to. You didn't hear at some point that they just coincidentally some guy was found face down in a field, or?
I didn't bother to look in the news because I didn't want any potential links. I'm smart enough to know what to look for and what not to.
And this is all fictional, isn't it?
100%.
Yeah, fiction. Thank you very much for telling us your fictional story. Thank you. One more time, KJ. Thank you, everybody.